I've seen in your book that you've actually exposed people to the correct information once you've gathered the, let's say, erroneous one. Are there some demographic or social, I don't know, reasons why some people are more reluctant to solve this cognitive dissonance by accepting actually the new information provided?
Yeah, so there's one particular example where we asked people to guess the immigration levels for their country. And then we took the people who guessed more than twice the actual level, and we asked them an additional question, which said, your National Statistics Service says that actually immigration is only this level, but you say it's twice or more that level. Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's so much more? And the top two answers in that question were, I don't believe you. We don't believe the statistics. And number one was the National Statistics Service, or whichever unit was doing it, doesn't count illegal immigration, so their figures are wrong. And that's not true, as any estimates of illegal immigration get nowhere near the guesses that people were making for this. And then the second reason was, I just don't believe you, you're lying. So people do hold on to those types of perceptions that they have of the reality. And like you say, that's related to the theory of cognitive dissonance, is that you've got a mental image of something, you think you know a fact, and if someone comes along and contradicts it, you try to hold on to it because it causes you psychological pain to change your worldview. So it's related to confirmation bias, where you look for information that confirms your view and dismiss information that doesn't. And that kind of points to the answer to your question. It's not so much demographic differences, it's more how strongly people identify with the issue. So in the case of things like immigration levels, it's much more likely that people who dismiss the government information are people who've got strong views about immigration, who support immigration reduction, reducing parties, those types of things. So it's kind of, again, it points to the broader messages for communications, including in the private sector, is you kind of need to know people's identity. What do they identify with in order to know whether a message is going to work with them? Some people hold on to those identities really hard, really strongly if it's important to them. Others, it's much more fluid and they will accept new information. And this isn't just about immigration or politics. It does apply in business in lots of other ways. Understanding much more about people's identity and where they're starting from before you're trying to convince them or get messages across to them. Very important.
This is why building brand equity is quite difficult. Now moving to the commercial side, building brand equity is quite different, and changing people's opinions about the brand.
Exactly, that's why it's so difficult. But I think there's a broader point about also understanding their underlying ideologies, if you like, underlying values and worldviews. There's a lot more interest in both the private and the public sector in understanding effectively people's moral values that underlie so much of their thinking. There's Jonathan Haidt, an American academic, has moral foundations theory as his thing, which classifies people according to tested psychological metrics on how people view threat and security, those types of things, and have proven very powerful in predicting other opinions, other behaviours. And it's kind of, I think, bringing more of that type of thinking into the private sector and into understanding of communications and brand, which is already lots of great work in that area within the sectors. Building on that, I think, is a really strong way forward.
It would be beneficial to infuse some of this thinking into the private sector. Thank you very much, Bob.
Thank you.